guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the test account and we are looking at Damia with the Bountiful Trials. Guys, now we're going to go in here, we're going to try out the guild trials, see exactly where she comes in. Now there are a lot of formations that players have been kind of posting and thinking about what she is going to be able to do within the guild trials. I want to see kind of where the damage comes in. Now we know overall she is a really solid buffer. Now this one, 360, is going to be the regular level deficiency. So even looking at this, guys, with the majority of game modes, this is where she is going to fall. Because remember, a lot of the levels are kind of even in here. But I want to try her in some level deficiencies. Want to try her in a couple different formations and see exactly what formations they're kind of placing in with her here. You can see we do have the awakened version of Belinda in there. I want to try front row. I want to try back row. I want to see exactly what we're going to get. Also running in here, this is going to be an interesting combination in itself. Just seeing what we can do. Vitheo with some buffs in here. Not going to worry about the artifacts. I just, again, want to test her a couple different modes. And I want to put up the levels a little bit, again, just to kind of really get a feel in just a minute of kind of where she is landing. We're going to go with Vitheo for some buffs in here. Now, overall, her abilities look awesome. They look very cool to see. Unfortunately, we didn't even get her to alterate there. But look at it, guys. 43 million damage. And again, that is with the exact same on par with level. So no level deficiency in here. I know the signature items make a big difference. And levels do. But overall, there's Zorath with the reset, guys. But I can see the overall continuous damage that she's going to be putting out in formations. Seems like it's going to be pretty solid. 38 million on that. So let's throw some levels in here, guys, and see exactly what we get. Let's go to 460. So that's 100 levels right there. And then let's go to 510. 510 is usually where we start. Again, based on this, based on level deficiencies, even looking here, guys, they only have, I believe, the plus 10 signature items on here. So again, it's not a true tried and tested trial, but I want to see what it looks like with the damage that she's putting out in formations, guys. Now remember, when she does damage to our team and the enemy team. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic of her, the dynamic of all four of her skills kind of together. Because remember, she's not an awakened hero. A lot of players were, I think, confusing her. But see, this is what I want to see. I want to see a little bit into the battle. That we're not just winning out the battle in a couple seconds. Because again, I want to see kind of where that damage, 127 million there. A lot of players were saying run her with Yennefer. I know there were a couple conversations online with who. See right there, she gets run over from Isolde. But again, we know she is stationary, so it's gonna have to be, I'm assuming, running her pretty much back line. Still doing a considerable amount of damage, but running her pretty much in a backline scenario, or having a solid tank as a frontliner. Even like a Guineas in here. And keeping everyone on the allied side, because that is where she is stationary, guys. It seems like it's going to make a big difference having everyone over here on this allied side. I think that's where her damage is really going to shine. Is again trying to barricade over here. 108, 124. So again, the continuous damage in here, guys. Let's throw, you know what? Let's put her in the back middle. A lot of players were saying with the dim comp, which again, we're going to change this up a little bit. See what we can do. But it seems like the dim comp is going to be pretty solid. 68, 102 million damage. And again, continuous damage coming in pretty strong. Let's try swapping out Mulan in this one. And I want to try this with Yennefer. Again, Yennefer was a recommendation that we got over on YouTube. Because of course Yennefer is gonna put up that magic barrier. So it's almost like a double protection in the back. Now I'm also thinking, again, 100 million, 70 million. I'm also thinking with some other heroes, such as possibly like a Sophia, a couple different heroes like that. Because remember, guys, Sophia's going to put up that spectral disruption, which of course is going to provide a pretty big amplification factor for Damia. There we go, guys, in that spectral disruption. Remember, that's going to amplify the damage that she is doing up there. Look at that, 148 million. I'm wondering in some formations, guys, and I'm thinking Cursed Realm, Twisted Realm, possibly a couple other formations. Because remember, guys, she also does have a very, very strong buffing ability. She has a 50% attack rating buff, guys. But now she's on the enemy side. So that's a pretty interesting dynamic. Because remember, it doesn't say allied side. It doesn't say enemy side. It says her side. I think that's how it kind of denotes it in there. So 108 million, 94 million in there. So even if she is going to the enemy side, guys, and again, I believe it does denote that it is her side. So whatever side she happens to be on is the side that we're going to see the buffs. Now this is where she got run over last time because of that taint ability, guys. Anytime we fight Thorin, of course, it's an issue with heroes with that taint ability. Without having some heavy crowd control. But again, the other thing that I'm thinking is when we look at the overall damage in here, I'm even thinking, you know, running a couple different heroes in here, guys. I'm even thinking this awakened version of Athalia just for the 30% extra damage boost out of this. So permanently increases the damage dealt. And again, I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of buffers around her that can make a really big difference with the damage that she is going to be putting out, guys. Still almost 75 million damage. That is some pretty solid damage. You know what? Let's go. And again, this is at 200 level deficiencies. Now, this is actually at a very solid point in the campaign where most players are pretty much 200 or less. If you're pushing much further than that, a lot of times it is really just an incredible amount of rinse and repeat to get these team comps to work within here, which is the reason why I want to see kind of what she can do at this level. Boom, so there's the big ult. But it seems like the survival and the support, guys, gonna have to keep her alive. And of course, Scarlet. So I wonder if we could actually swap this one up. Just because this will keep her on the allied side. And Kalthar went right down to her, but we're going to get some crowd control from Rowan. And just that continuous damage. And I think she's a pixie. Pixie or a sprite were the two that I was kind of looking at. Boom, there's that ultimate ability again. Of course, Mizoth is a tough one to take down, guys. But we do have some crowd control. Kalthar goes down right there. There we go. So we do keep the team alive at a 200 level deficiency. 302 million damage. Wow. And again, with her buffing, with Vithiel buffing, that's a pretty solid combination. Even Rowan, with the potions, the energy to actually keep her ultimate ability up. That's a pretty interesting team. Let's try it here again. 200 level deficiency, guys, is where tanks like Scrag usually start melding. I know there's a little bit of the damage mitigation with Damia, so hopefully, I mean, it seems pretty solid overall. And even with Cele, I would love to see the utility of some of these support heroes that we don't see a lot in here. 273 million on that one. The Rowan that has been kind of backlisted. A couple other heroes I would love to see. Again, I would love to see some of the kind of older support heroes, or some of the support heroes that we don't see as prevalent anymore within formations. Now, Tamris, of course, going to provide some really solid buffs in here. But again, we have some buffs in there from Sonya. But even looking at Belinda, guys. Boom, Thorns back up. And I love the buffs that Tamris provides. He is such a solid buffer. But look at that, guys. Even compared to the Awakened version of Belinda. Wow. That is pretty interesting to see. And again, at a level 200 deficiency. And I feel like a lot of these heroes, I know, again, this trial has so many variations of it. But when you look at formations like that, and most of the tanks, even this, running a 200 level deficiency with Guineas, he kind of gets run over, guys. Even Baden, look at that, guys. That is why, again, the 200 level deficiency, not super effective, but let's try the dims. Now, the dimensional heroes always seem to hold their own. A lot of damage mitigation goes up early. Of course, we have Yennefer with some of the crowd control that pushed them back. Joan has her stanchion up, and here comes the ults, guys. There's Yennefer. And there's her ult. Which again, even by the time she ults almost the entire team, guys. We almost had everyone down at that point. And this one's tough because remember, Aziz, the original version of Aziz, cancels out the ults. So again, 200 level deficiency. Wow. Yeah, she's putting out a considerable amount of damage in there. I like the dim team. This one again, with the immunity, we're kind of getting run over here. I feel like we need a little bit more support in here to actually keep everyone up. Not sure if Palmer is going to be enough. But of course, Palmer is going to provide that damage amplification in there. I didn't think he'd be enough. That's okay, though, because that's a pretty big, again, that is a pretty big level deficiency in here, guys. Wonder if we can do some more damage mitigation with Peanut. And kind of either two factors in here, or either you're going to have enough damage mitigation through the heroes with the healing, the support, which it looks like we might this time. Very cool to see her, guys. Very, very cool. I'm honestly, I'm pretty impressed. For a Celestial, look at that, 271, 200 million there. Which again, her utility puts a huge buff on Baden. With having her built, one of the big reasons why Baden is doing so much damage, I don't know if she buffs herself. I believe it was right here. Yeah, the signature item in here. So once allies have received Dewey Network Nectar cumulative 6 times, their attack rating is permanently increased by 50% points, or I think 50%. Again, the translation issue. Damage dealt by enemies with half of the battlefield to allies possessed by the Dewey Nectar is reduced by 50%. See, and that's what I mean. Damia's half. It depends on, again, the way that is written right now. We have to see what it is when it actually comes out. But the way it is written, it seems like whatever half that she is in, like where we seen where she went on the enemy side. So depending however she gets over there, which I think it was Kelthar that pulled her over there. So I believe this is going to be an effect or a factor when it comes to those team comps, guys. It's going to be interesting to see. Increase the duration of the Torrid Winds and Blaze to 15 seconds. So that is going to be huge. And then, of course, the Torrid Wind is created at the start of battle. Wow. When an ally possesses the Dewy Nectar deals damage while the Torrid Wind is active. Now, remember, with the furniture, it is going to start with the Torrid Wind, and the Torrid Wind is going to last for that 15 seconds. Summons a Wind Blade, dealing additional damage for 150% of the attack rating to the target who has been damaged by the ally possessing the Dewy Nectar. Exactly, guys. This is going to be a big trigger in here. Then, of course, the Blazing Sun is active. The tenacity of the allies possessed is increased by 30 points. The Blazing Sun is going to have a duration extension in here, which means, again, the furniture on her is going to be absolutely huge. And she has the debuff. She has buffs and debuffs, guys. Very cool. All right, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.